Hi guys, it's Allie, and it's about time for another writing update. I have been avoiding making this video because in doing so, I have to acknowledge to myself and to all of you guys that I haven't actually gotten a lot of creative writing done lately. Now, that is not to say that I haven't gotten any writing done, because as a matter of fact, I've gotten a lot of writing done. It's just been more for my business because I have to write lesson plans and write scripts and film those videos and then edit those videos, and so there's a lot of writing and editing and all of that stuff that goes into that, and that has been my main priority because my Young Writers Toolkit is currently still in the works, and I have all of my students to take care of there, so that takes precedence for me right now over getting my words on the page for my next draft of my book. However, I do need to prioritize writing more, and so I haven't gotten a lot of writing done since November. Now, I have gotten some. I haven't completely abandoned it since November, but I have had less time to work on it and less motivation, I guess, to work on my own creative writing because I've been so wrapped up in other people's creative writing and in reading and in all of that stuff. Especially January, I did a lot of reading and not a lot of writing. But at the end of the day, a writer's job is to write, yet I do think that it is important to acknowledge that sometimes there are other things that are going to get in the way of writing, and sometimes those things are going to be excuses, and sometimes those things are going to be actual genuine things that you need to be paying more attention to. So if you are moving, if you have a lot of stuff going on at school, if you are in any way, shape, or form unable to write for a day or a week or a month, then that doesn't make you a bad writer, and anybody who tells you that it does, or that if that makes you lazy, they're wrong. It's only laziness if you make the conscious effort to not do the thing that you supposedly love doing. And that hasn't been the case for me. I haven't consciously made the decision to not write. It's just been that things haven't really fallen into place over the past couple months because I've been focusing so much of my attention onto other things, both for my business and for my own personal life and growth and things like that. So I have done some writing, and I have done some things that I will share with you next, but I thought it would be just as important to make this video as it is not fun to make this video. I don't like admitting the fact that I didn't get a lot of stuff done because I like to consider myself a very hardworking person, and the fact that I haven't gotten a lot of work done is grating on my nerves, but that is the way that it is sometimes, and I feel like it's important for you guys and for other young writers out there to know that sometimes you need to, and sometimes it's just going to be that way. Like, it be like that sometimes. So, yeah. Then, let's move on to the actual writing that I did get done, even though it was a couple months ago. Those of you who have seen my writing process video will already know this, but if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave it linked above. But you will know, if you've seen it, that I did a big no-no when it comes to writing, but ultimately I think it was for the better, though that remains to be seen. I might change my mind later. And that choice was to abandon my first draft, not abandon it, but leave it off to the side and start a new draft without completing the end of the first draft. And I have reasons for that. But the primary thing is that I wanted to incorporate a pretty massive change that would not really change the first quarter of the book, would change some things in the middle, and would fundamentally change the third act of the book. And I got to, in my first pass through that I used a lot of my time on NaNoWriMo was for that draft. That first draft, I got to roughly the third plot point, which, if you don't know what the third plot point is, I have a video on 3-act plot structure, so I'll leave that linked above as well. Go watch that. And that was basically only 75% done with the draft. So probably more around 80% done. But that was where I was at, and I could have continued, and ultimately I decided not to because I had this change that I wanted to implement, and it was going to completely change the third act. The entire third act was going to be completely demolished and rebuilt out of the ashes, and so I could either use my time, I won't say waste my time, to finish that draft so that I could have a completed draft, or I could just skip ahead and move on to the next thing and then essentially have to completely rewrite the third act because there's no act to base it off of. So currently I'm happy with how I've been doing it. I'm fine with my choice as of right now, but I know that in most cases when people do this, they start regretting it once they actually get to the point that they stopped at. So once we reach the third plot point of this draft, we'll see how that goes. I'm not there yet. I'm still working with the first act, which is like 90% copy and paste, but the last 10% is adjusting things and trying to decide if I'm going to keep certain subplots or alter them or all that different stuff. So there are a lot of different decisions happening there, and that is also part of why I haven't gotten a lot of work done, is because I'm kind of into the between draft outlining stage, not necessarily re-outlining because I do have a new outline already, but kind of rethinking some of the things that I did in the first draft, trying to repurpose some of the things that didn't make it into the first draft, and also some of the things that I added in the first draft, deciding if I want to keep those things or not. So there's a lot to be done, and this is a pretty depressing writing update, but yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I haven't gotten a lot of work done, and that's unfortunate. And I also have done a big no-no when it comes to the drafting process. So unfortunately, that's it for me this week. I'm sorry. I feel like I've failed you. But that is going to be it for this writing update. Hopefully next time I come to you with better news. And that's all. If you liked this video for some reason, give it a like. If you want to see me be happier about my writing process, subscribe, because I will eventually be happier about this. And I will see you guys in the next video.